Whew, all right, welcome back. This is another video on my way to becoming a professional kayak bass angler. I've been bass fishing for a year now, and I know some of you already know this, but this is just for the new viewers. But as we're getting right into fall now, and we're heading into winter, and I keep seeing posts of people saying they're putting their stuff away for the season, and bass fishing's almost over, as this is almost the end. I keep seeing posts like that. Seems like that's kind of a little bit of a trend. I understand some places it's going to get really cold, the lakes will freeze over. But I've also heard things along the lines of you can catch some of the biggest bass in the wintertime. Everything's so not pressured. Come out and be on the lake all by yourself. And therefore, if you're throwing the right things and you know what you're doing, you can make a killing. As I'm training to become a professional bass angler next year, for the tournaments that start in around April or so, I figured I might as well fish all the way through fall, winter, and early spring, and I'm just going to keep going. Even if I'm not catching anything, I can come out here and be practicing with lures and whatnot, but I want to go with the saying that this is a chance to catch some of the biggest, best bass in the year and be out in the lake all by myself. So I'm going to be testing it out. I'll be out on the lake still 2-3 times a week, I'd say. And I'll be fishing as much as I possibly can, throwing all the lures I'm supposed to be throwing. I'll be chasing down the bass to where they should be. They move around, they're not always in the same place throughout the year. So as they go into fall and winter time, things change quite a bit. And as long as you are aware of what those changes are, you should still be able to find them. I hope that if you follow along in this little adventure through the fall and winter time, that you can see that for yourself. If you're somewhere where all your lakes are going to freeze over, I'm sorry. None of my lakes are going to freeze over. There's a chance it might happen for like a week. That's like the most I'd ever see it get like cold enough for something like that to happen around here. It's very rare in Washington, at least. For starters, right now we're in mid-October, and I'm the only one out in the lake right now. This particular lake is going to close up at the end of this month, so I'll have to narrow down my lakes a little bit. So I wanted to come out here today, test out and see what's going on this lake, because I'm gonna have a full day of fishing tomorrow, and I just had a few hours to come out today and just kind of see what's going on out here, see if it'll be worth coming out tomorrow, or maybe I should go somewhere else. So today I'm planning on throwing a jig as well as a spinnerbait. Basically, these are the things I feel like I should be throwing. I've had a ton of luck with the jig lately. That last video I made, that was really crazy. I don't know if this is the reason that it went so well, but I have a suspicion that at least up here in Washington, seems like the sprays the scents are really doing something. I'm gonna be out here for a couple hours. We'll see how this lake is, see if we can catch something big. I keep catching small bass and I'm getting kind of tired of that. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Let's see what we can find, and let's throw the stuff we should throw and see if I can improve upon my skills. Last few times I've come out, it's kind of tricky on this lake about where the bass are. This area over here is where I've had a lot of luck in the times that I have had luck with bigger bass. My biggest frog blow up was right over there. It was the coolest thing that ever happened. Whoa, whoa. Yeah. What? Yo. This thing's a freaking beast. All right, what a fish. Oh my God, look at the size of that thing. I've never... Awesome. All right, buddy. Off you go. Ready? Yes! Also today, I'm going to be testing out a new technique called pitching. And it's like an important skill when it comes to bass fishing, especially with a jig. Getting a jig and fishing around in your cover, finding the trees, the stumps, the logs, the bushes, and you can't always just necessarily I don't want to be casting from downtown trying to get all the way over to those lily pads up there. There's a technique called pitching, and honestly, I'm going to go ahead and try it right now. This will be the first time I've ever tried it. I was on Leland Lake not that long ago, and I was trying to do it like this because I didn't know what I was doing, but I was going like that. Honestly, that works just fine. But basically, the goal is to pitch it out just like so. Let it drop straight down to the bottom, and your goal is to give it a couple twitches. And since you're kind of casting around cover and stuff, you kind of just want to give it a few twitches and then bring it back up and do it again. So I'm not necessarily trying to drag through all this stuff. I don't know if you can see right now, but there's just a ton of vegetation in this spot right here. Everything's kind of starting to die. We'll fish around the lake and see if we can find where they're at today. There's a good chance, honestly, right? Right in here. This stuff's starting to die, and I know that bass don't necessarily like hanging around a bunch of dead vegetation. It kind of lowers the oxygen, doesn't raise the oxygen level like it normally would if it was like nice, healthy vegetation, and therefore there should be a bunch more bait fish, and the bass would like to be hanging out in those areas. But let's go ahead and just try pitching. Basically, that works right there. I'm honestly happy with that as for pitching, but I'll show you the way that you're supposed to do it. I just watched a video just the other day about the actual technique. Ton of goopy grass down here, so we'll have to keep peeling that off of there. I know a lot of people don't like fishing jigs because, well, that's just part of the game. But here we are. Pitching a jig has to do with getting the lure right next to the reel. And then my goal is basically I'm going to let this go, and that pendulum of it swinging is going to be the cast. And I can kind of give the rod a little bit of a flick. And it seems like people like to do it kind of sideways. Hopefully I can still do this in the bass boat. I don't think shouldn't be an issue. Yeah. There we go. That's it right there. I want to see if I can try to get up to those lily pads up there, though. Let's see if we can do a better cast than that. All right, let's see. Let's try to get up next to those lily pads up there. Oh, piece of cake. This is super easy. I think with just some practice, obviously this will become a very valuable skill. The lure is hitting the water a lot softer, and therefore the reason why you'd want to do it is because you're trying to cast it, pitch it next to cover. Those bass are chilling there. They're looking to ambush something, and I don't necessarily, look at that. Look at how much grass is in this spot right here. Probably gonna be pretty tricky. Luckily, jigs are pretty weedless for the most part. You should be able to drop it in there and give it a little kick, and it should knock most of that off of there. But yeah, basically, hit your button down, give it a whoop, piece of cake, and I can let a little line out right there, let it drop straight down to the bottom, give it a couple twitches, and then we'll go ahead and yank it out of there and try not to grab all that grass. And your goal is basically to just do a bunch of casts right into a very specific spot. A lot of grass right here. But that's fun. That's a technique I'll be working on. This is my spinnerbait I have set up right now. I am throwing it on 40-pound braid. Water clarity is pretty mega murky, so I'm not super worried about that. Oh, that was a weird cast. The biggest spinnerbait fish I've ever caught were in this lake. I think I'll fish this point a little bit. Bass love points. I love them. Spinnerbait can be really good up shallow right now. Some of the bass are moving out deep, but some of them are up in the shallows feeding. I don't know what the bass in this lake are feeding on right now, but the spinnerbait has become probably one of my favorite all-time lures just because of how weedless it is. It's not perfect by any means, but I'm casting into some pretty thick stuff right now, trying to give it a little more of an erratic motion. I've heard so much about people talking about spinnerbaits and chatterbaits and how you can't always just give them a steady retreat back. It doesn't always provide. That erratic motion can really be triggering. I'm using a 16th ounce weight wacky worm setup right now. Super weedy over here, so it's kind of some sort of lure that falls super slowly is pretty ideal. I'm curious if I'll be able to find him today. It's been awfully quiet. I'm excited to go fishing tomorrow because there's a big front coming in. And that's kind of become a known thing for me, that right before a front comes in, it seems like you can find an easier bite. Nice, we got one. We got one. He ain't big, but honestly, he's about as good size. I'm saying good size to me, because I mean, it's been rough out there. Thanks, bud. Oh, thank God. Glad we got a fish. I'm only out here for a few hours, so like, I'm happy with one. Happy with one. Even that little guy. Here we go. I just have to cast right up against that lily pad patch right there, and I'll catch a fish. Ready? Oh, shit. I get a second shot, okay? There was 2 dragonflies just doing it on my shoulder right there. That's not good. Third time's charm. That's why that's a saying. Good enough. Perfect. This is the cast. Ready? 3, 2. Like you've never been wrong before. Damn it. There's something happening right there. I'm gonna try something absolutely crazy. Shall I pitch directly into that spot? First try? Damn it. That was so close. Watch. There we go. Perfect. Damn it. It was a good cast. I might be a new bass fisherman, but I am damn good at showing up at a spot where the bass are and scaring all of them away. I mean, that is just... I'm on another level right here. Oh, he's looking at me. Not only a bass channel, but a National Geographic. Come watch me catch fish and watch bugs do it on my arm. Okay. You're off of me. God, they are all over me. Ridiculous. Okay. Well, I saved the jig. At what cost, though? There we go. Scared all the fish away. Perfect. Now, see all those birds over there? Probably not everyone knows this, but that's where I need to be right now. That's where I need to be. Those birds are feasting tough right now. And they're specifically feasting about 50 feet to the right of where I was fishing at before. And they're feasting on some bait fish. Oh man, this is crazy. Are you guys ready for this? There is a freaking feast going on over here. Damn, they are all over it right now. Yeah, we're gonna get our spinnerbait out there. Hopefully this mimics what's going on. And hopefully there are some big bass out there chasing these fish that we're about to go. I've never actually seen this before. This is neat. I've read about this in the books, in the sacred texts. Yeah, we're just gonna get this spinnerbait out there and God, I hope just make a killing here. You know what we're not gonna do? We're not gonna catch a bird. We're gonna be very careful not to have that happen because, oh my God, do I not want to catch a bird. And we're not gonna get pooped on. No poop. No poop birds. I think we should be able to scare them away. Go on now. Let that spinnerbait drop down there nice and far. Ooh, I can see it too, unless that's bird poop. There's no way I don't get pooped on. There's too many birds. Whoa. Alright, this is trickier than I thought. I want to keep the chance of poop to be a little lower than I think it currently is right now. I kind of feel like I got a little stressed about being shit on and not really into the idea of catching a bird on accident. Plus, I saw some people from shore watching the birds, so to catch if I caught a bird, just blew up a bunch of feathers and the squawking, and it would just, that's the worst thing that could happen today. These dragonflies just love these shirts, you know? Alright, we'll keep them on there. Good luck, right? If I caught a giant bass with this dragonfly on my arm, lose my mind. God, he doesn't care at all. He's just chilling on there. Need to get a better cast. Oh, he doesn't care at all. Better not be doing anything gross in my arm. Alright, well, we're gonna do our last few casts here, and I think we're gonna call it a day. Let's just get a few more in, see if we can get one more fish in. If not, go ahead and let you know. I'm gonna head out fishing tomorrow. I think by the time you see this video, you should just know that I already have one the next day filmed and I'm working on it. And hopefully I'm gonna come out and catch something big tomorrow or in the next couple of casts here. I think I'm glad I came out here for a few hours today because I was debating about whether or not to come out here all day tomorrow. And I think just based off of how it went today, my time would be best going to a different lake tomorrow. So I'll go to another lake tomorrow that should have some big old bass in it. And we'll see what happens there. And I hope to see you on that next video. Thanks for watching.